this is an AI generated image, but this is kind of tweaking the situation with Trudeau. But he did look like a little child sitting next to President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I couldn't help but think it's another son.
Well, Daddy's home, and he's coming back to the White House.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, you're a grown man. Don't say Daddy's home.
Oh man.
I get the banter. I get that it's playing off of what Laura Ingraham said, but just don't do it. Don't say Daddy's home.
That is just wild to go on TV. Like, dude, like, I'm sure that guy has kids. Like, your kids are gonna watch this, bro. And you're calling a dude who isn't related to you in any way, shape, or form your dad. Like, what about your own dad? Like, your dad might watch this and be disgusted by the fact that you're calling somebody else your father. All the work he done put in, all the times he threw baseball with you in the damn yard for you to get up there, sit up there and call Donald Trump your dad. That's ridiculous. I'd be pissed if I was that guy's father.
There's a real crisis in America, a real masculinity crisis in America. And I don't know, I think we need to address it. People are saying men these days not masculine enough, calling other grown men daddy. Is it okay? I don't think so. Let's watch go ahead.
No, just the degree to which these guys want to just fondle the Trump tea bags is crazy.
Oh my God. I didn't see you going in that direction. Okay. Let's watch the full clip in context. Maybe we'll feel better about it. Who knows?
Maybe they can go back to a different flag.
Now this is an AI generated image, but this is kind of tweaking the situation with Trudeau. But he did look like a little child sitting next to President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I couldn't help but think it's another son.
Well, Daddy's home, and he's coming back to the White House, and he's going to make sure Canada and Mexico do everything they can to stop the deadly fentanyl that's flowing in our country.
We're getting into that next segment. Yeah, another.
He's serious. He means business, and they take him seriously.
So good to have you both on.
You're a grown ass man wearing a suit. Like, it's amazing. It really is. But look, there is some substance here, so we should get into that as well. So the US I wouldn't say the US is threatening some of our allies, including Canada, with high tariffs. Donald Trump is doing it. This is the way he governs. Like, he negotiates publicly and he starts off with, crazy threats to rein various allies in his mind. And look, sometimes it works. So we'll see what happens. But as a reminder, last week, Trump threatened a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico unless these two countries reduce migrants and drugs coming into the United States. So that's the reason why Justin Trudeau visited Trump at Mar-a-Lago to talk about this. And so the US, by the way, let's just stop, because I don't know if I want to give Trump, no, I'm going to give Trump credit. To Trump's credit, think about it. He publicly announces this threat of a 25% tariff, and the leader of Canada comes running over to Mar-a-Lago to meet with him. I mean, Waz, am I wrong to give him credit? Like, it's different from how other politicians have functioned, but this is how he functioned, and it appears to work.
It's his thing. His whole thing, the art of the deal. He fancies himself a master negotiator. That's his thing. It's like, throw out the craziest offer you can possibly, right? Like, set the bar in the terms as crazy as possible, and have people meet you somewhere in the middle of that, and you will come out on top. That's what he's doing. That's what it feels like he's always doing. He's always negotiating in public, but it's just now, like, as the president of the freaking United States, like, he has clear power and influence to bring some painful stuff to bear for Canadian business interests. And yeah, man, they gotta play ball if that's the case. And like, I don't think Trump's gonna, levy some 25% tariff. And also, like, Canada is importing migrants and drugs too.
So I don't know about drugs, and I'm hesitating to comment on that because I don't know for sure. But Cenk had mentioned that there are some migrants who have started coming in through the Canadian border, which is okay. I'm actually surprised that didn't happen sooner. But so it's not as big of an issue as it is with the southern border. But
where are these migrants from that they're getting to Canada first?
I forget, honestly. But Cenk had mentioned it in a story we covered last week, and I was surprised by it because I had the same reaction as you when Trump announced his tariffs, like, his threat against Canada. I'm
like, what's Canada got to do with this?
Exactly. So apparently, like Fox News's White House correspondent Peter Doocy told special report host Brett Baer on Monday evening, quote, "We are told that when Trudeau and President-elect Trump, we are told that when Trudeau told President-elect Trump that new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy, Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive without ripping off the US, to the tune of $100 billion a year, then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor." I'm amused by that. I shouldn't be, I guess, but I am. I'm amused by that. It's hilarious. That's pretty funny. Like,
oh God, yeah. I mean, look, again, I would be surprised if he said something like that, like actually being serious and wasn't just being tongue in cheek. And yeah, like you do really wonder, like, if it's just is Trump getting these guys to the table to do something different so that it could feel like, look, man, I want to be able to win on a promise that I made, so it could seem like I said I was going to do something and I did it. Unlike my first administration where I pretty much did nothing except for the freaking mega tax cut. I mean, it's smart. Like, if the criticism is that during his first term, he didn't do enough of the things he said he was going to do, seems like he's trying to line things up to follow up on his plans. And, again, I don't want to see Americans get hurt by this, but part of me, man, wants to see people get in office and actually deliver on the stuff that they're saying. I'm tired of these theoretical administrations, these theoretical policies where people run on stuff and claim they're gonna do all of this stuff and don't do it. And Republicans run on the craziest crap and never do it, never deliver on it. And people don't realize how stupid their ideas are. So like a part of me does want to see him actually implement his program so people can get a sense of like, yo, damn, I didn't know he was gonna do all of this. I really do want to see it. I swear to God.
Well, look, I keep repeating this, and I know people hate that I keep repeating this, but it's important for people to know, even though it's an inconvenient fact for Democratic loyalists. Trump's tariffs on China worked to some extent, which is why Biden kept them and expanded on them. And so when we have conversations about tariffs, what's so annoying about it is like people have this black and white view, but it depends on how they're implemented, why they're implemented. And so if you do some targeted tariffs, by the way, Democrats used to be in favor of tariffs. Like that used to be a policy that was very closely identified with the Democratic Party. And ever since the party was captured by corporate donors, they've obviously moved away from that. But I do think that in some cases, targeted tariffs might make sense. And in this case, I do think that Trump is using it as a threat in order to get what he wants from some of these countries. And, if they're not willing to be good boys and girls, daddy might give them a spanking. Okay, that might happen. Speaking of daddy, let's go to other grown men literally calling him that. Let's watch.
Even in the Mideast, where Hamas is saying, well, we were just trying to defend ourselves, or, countries indicating that they're going to be good boys and girls now, just to liken it to an old parable that you hear, daddy's home, and things are going to change, and we're going to go back to being a strong America.
And when dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
We didn't need to know about the kinky stuff you and your wife are into.
Vigorous spanking. I love that as a descriptor. Vigorously spanking these bad boys and girls. That is sick.
Man.
Listen, folks, just to get back to the tariffs on one thing, I think the reason why there's two reasons why you'll see like a blanket in the outlets that you guys might read, whether it be New York Times or The Atlantic or any of these elite, quote unquote, liberal outlets, is that one, the tariffs go against the neoliberal consensus, which is free trade, TTP, NAFTA, blah, 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 blah. Like it goes against that. And so just reflexively, these people are going to be against it because, again, the uniparty, neoliberal, established order is that this was the way of the future and was great for everybody. Which is proven to not be the case, I think, unequivocally. I think another thing, people who are less dogmatic and, ideologues about this is just that we're in an inflationary environment and, that tariffs will raise prices. Even if the most bullish people on tariffs will say in the short term, at the very least, prices will be raised and Americans are taught to think of themselves as freaking consumers first. And so like, unfortunately, the second that they think that my prices, my freaking home goods ain't as cheap as it was, which home goods, RIP, they're going out of business. Did you hear about that?
Not. No, they're not.
Yeah,
Waz, don't say that to me.
They
don't
are.
Say that to me.
Their
don't
parent company is going bankrupt. Yeah.
Listen, I don't need to be suicidal, okay? Like, don't.
Yeah. But
how is that possible? How is that possible?
I think the parent company messed up the money somehow. They own like a bunch of other stuff, but I read that somewhere. Home goods is a wrap. My girl sent me that article. She, like you, was addicted to home goods. Did. I'm a home goods fan too, but yeah, man, I gotta get that to you.
You always come in with the fresh information. Thank you, Waz. I appreciate that,
No
even
problem.
though that was devastating.